Let's talk about why prices are rising, a question on everyone's mind as we navigate our daily lives. We're seeing increases at the grocery store, at the gas pump, and pretty much everywhere in between. And how tariffs, often unseen but always influential, are at the center of it all. These trade policies have a far-reaching impact, affecting not just big corporations, but also the everyday consumer. Tariffs are special taxes on imported goods, essentially a fee imposed on products coming into a country. And former President Trump has brought back big ones, implementing significant tariffs on a range of goods as part of his trade agenda, especially on metals like steel and aluminum, and also on cars imported from various countries. These sectors have felt the impact quite acutely. These new taxes are forcing major companies, the giants of industry, to rethink everything, to reevaluate their strategies and make tough choices in response to these changing economic conditions. From their supply chains, the complex networks that bring raw materials and finished products to our doorsteps, to their pricing, the delicate balance between profitability and affordability for consumers. The goal? Make American products cheaper than foreign ones, incentivizing consumers to buy goods made within the United States and boosting domestic industries. But it's not that simple. The global economy is incredibly interconnected. Many U.S. companies rely on foreign materials, sourcing components and raw materials from all over the world to create their products. When those get taxed, when these imported materials become subject to tariffs, companies either make less money, cutting into their profits, or raise prices for you, passing the cost on to the consumer. Take Coca-Cola, a ubiquitous brand recognized worldwide. They use tons of aluminum for cans, the very packaging that delivers their iconic beverage to millions. When tariffs hit aluminum, their costs spike, impacting their bottom line and potentially leading to higher prices for consumers. The car industry is in the same boat, facing similar challenges due to tariffs on steel and other imported components. Modern cars, especially electric ones, which are becoming increasingly prevalent, are built from parts sourced worldwide, a testament to the globalized nature of the automotive industry. These tariffs are shaking up the entire economy, creating uncertainty and forcing businesses to adapt. From soda cans, a seemingly small item, to new cars, a major purchase for most households. This isn't just a policy debate, it's not just abstract economic theory, it's about your wallet and the products you use every day, the real-world impact on your personal finances. Over the next few scenes, we'll break down, we'll dissect and analyze how companies are adapting, how they're responding to these challenges and changing their business models, how other countries are reacting, what retaliatory measures they might be taking, and what it all means for you, the consumer, the individual navigating this complex economic landscape. Buckle up, get ready for a ride. This economic shift is just getting started. The changes we're seeing now are likely just the beginning of a longer-term trend. The ripple effects are everywhere, spreading across industries and impacting various sectors of the economy. And no one is immune. From large corporations to individual consumers, everyone is feeling the impact of these changes. Let's see how these changes are playing out in real time, examining the latest data and trends as they unfold. Ready? Let's dive in and explore the intricacies of this evolving economic landscape. Coca-Cola's iconic aluminum can, a symbol recognized around the world, has been a staple in our lives for generations. Its sleek design and refreshing contents have made it a go-to beverage for millions. Is suddenly a problem. A seemingly innocuous can is now at the center of a complex economic and environmental dilemma. New tariffs on imported aluminum, implemented with the intention of boosting domestic production, are having a ripple effect across various industries, have made every can more expensive to produce. The cost of raw materials has surged, impacting manufacturers and consumers alike. With billions of cans sold each year, the sheer scale of Coca-Cola's operations means even minor cost fluctuations can translate into significant financial implications. Even a small price hike is a huge hit for Coke. The company is now facing a critical decision: absorb the increased costs or pass them on to consumers. The company's solution? In the face of rising aluminum prices, Coca-Cola is exploring alternative strategies to maintain profitability and market share. Shift toward more plastic bottles. This strategic pivot represents a significant change in direction for the beverage giant. It's a classic business move, a calculated response to market pressures and economic realities. When one material gets pricey, find a cheaper alternative. Plastic, with its lower production costs, emerges as the viable substitute. But this switch has environmental consequences, raising concerns about plastic pollution and its impact on our ecosystems. Coke had promised to use 50% recycled material by 2030, a commitment to sustainability and environmental responsibility, but now that's dropped to 35 to 40% by 2035. The shift towards plastic is forcing the company to reevaluate its sustainability goals. A tariff meant to protect U.S. aluminum, intended to bolster domestic industries and create jobs, is pushing Coke to use more plastic and scale back on sustainability. A decision that highlights the complex interplay between economic policy and environmental stewardship. This is how economic policy can have unexpected side effects. Policies designed to achieve specific economic goals can sometimes lead to unforeseen environmental repercussions. For you, this means more plastic bottles on shelves and fewer cans. The choices available to consumers are directly influenced by these broader economic forces. It's a small change in the store, a subtle shift in the products we see and the choices we make, but a big shift for the planet. These seemingly minor adjustments can have a cumulative impact on the environment. Coke is adapting to survive, but the environment pays the price. The pursuit of profit and market share can sometimes come at the expense of environmental sustainability. Trade policy isn't just about economics, it's about the environment, consumer choice, and the future of our planet. It shapes what you see in the supermarket. The products we buy and consume are all interconnected with global trade policies. The story of a can of Coke is now a story about global economics. It's a microcosm of the complex forces shaping our world. And it's just one example of how tariffs ripple through our lives. These policies have far-reaching consequences that extend beyond the immediate economic impact. Let's see what else is changing. The world is in constant flux, and understanding these changes is crucial for navigating the complexities of modern life. With all these challenges, is Coca-Cola leaving the US? Not at all. Coke's CEO says the company is deeply rooted here. Most of what it sells in America is made in America. But staying doesn't mean business as usual. The company is rethinking its strategy, shifting from aluminum to plastic to manage costs. It's like finding a new route to work when your usual road gets a toll. Coke must balance cost-cutting with its public image. More plastic could hurt its reputation for sustainability. The company wants to stay profitable without looking like it's abandoning environmental promises. So, Coca-Cola isn't leaving, but it is changing how it operates. Tariffs are forcing tough choices about packaging and long-term goals. Even the most American brands aren't immune to global trade policy. The game plan is evolving, not disappearing. This is what adaptation looks like in a new economic era. Let's look at how these changes play out globally. Coca-Cola is a global giant. Only 16% of its sales are in the US. Its biggest markets are Mexico, China, Brazil, and India, countries hit hard by US tariffs. When the US imposes tariffs, other countries retaliate, sparking trade wars. That means Coke could face higher costs or even boycotts abroad. Most Coke is made locally, but trade wars still threaten its global business. Political tension can turn friendly brands into targets. The real risk for Coke isn't just expensive cans, it's losing access to huge markets. Decades of global expansion are at stake. Tariffs threaten more than profits, they threaten the company's future worldwide. The global economy is a tightrope, and Coke is trying not to fall. The drama is bigger than cans and bottles, it's about survival in a hostile trade environment. And Coke isn't alone. Now let's talk cars, especially electric vehicles, or EVs. New tariffs hit not just finished cars but also the parts that make them, like batteries. Most EVs aren't fully American-made, their parts come from all over the world. Of 67 EV models sold in the US, only 28 are assembled here, the rest are imported and now face big taxes. Even US-assembled EVs use foreign parts, especially batteries from China, which are now targeted by tariffs. No EV is untouched by these new costs. Automakers spent years building global supply chains. Now tariffs are throwing everything into chaos. A single tariff on a battery or chip can disrupt entire production lines. The dream of affordable electric cars is suddenly in jeopardy. Trade policy is reshaping the future of transportation. The shockwaves are just beginning. What does this mean for you? Higher car prices, especially for EVs. Tariffs are a tax, and that cost gets passed to buyers. Experts predict new car prices could jump 11 to 12%. That's $4,400 to $4,800 more on a $40,000 car. Some estimates say increases could reach $20,000 depending on the model. The more imported parts, the bigger the price hike. EVs, already pricier than gas cars, will get even less affordable. The government wants more people driving EVs, but tariffs make that harder. It's a mixed message: go green, but pay more. The global supply chain that kept cars affordable is breaking down. The result? A bigger bill for anyone shopping for a new ride. Tariffs are meant to protect jobs, but they're also a tax on consumers. The cost of this trade war is coming straight to your driveway. The US isn't alone in this fight. This isn't a solo act. Europe and China are pushing back, asserting their own economic strategies on the global stage. The European Union, a major US trading partner, is carefully assessing the situation, weighing its options, and considering the long-term implications. The EU is particularly worried about its car industry, a cornerstone of the European economy. German automakers like Volkswagen, a symbol of German engineering and global commerce, and BMW are calling for talks, not tariffs, emphasizing the need for diplomatic solutions over protectionist measures. They believe open dialogue is the key. The EU is juggling trade disputes with both the US, navigating a complex web of international relations, and China, striving to maintain a delicate balance in its trade policies. China, meanwhile, is preparing direct retaliation, carefully calibrating its response to protect its own economic interests. This includes new tariffs on American goods, a direct countermeasure to perceived unfair trade practices. It's a tit-for-tat strategy, a calculated move in a high-stakes economic game. US taxes Chinese EVs, China taxes American cars, highlighting the reciprocal nature of these trade disputes. American companies with big business in China, who have invested heavily in the Chinese market, are caught in the crossfire, facing uncertainty and potential financial losses. The goal for both the EU and China is to avoid wrecking their economies, to safeguard their economic stability and future growth. But they're ready to fight back, prepared to defend their interests and challenge what they see as unfair practices. The EU leans on negotiation. It prefers diplomatic solutions and multilateral agreements. China threatens economic pain to force the US to reconsider, using its economic leverage as a tool for negotiation. Automakers are lobbying hard, making their voices heard in the halls of power, warning that trade wars hurt everyone, leading to job losses, reduced investment, and overall economic decline. The international response is still unfolding, a dynamic situation with new developments emerging daily. But the world isn't backing down, showing a united front against protectionism and trade aggression. This is a high-stakes game, a complex interplay of economic and political forces with global consequences impacting economies and societies around the world. Every country is trying to protect its own interests, navigating this challenging landscape with a focus on national priorities. The uncertainty is making businesses nervous everywhere, leading to cautious investment decisions and a general sense of unease. The world is pushing back, resisting the forces of protectionism and advocating for fair and open trade, and the stakes keep rising as the world watches and waits to see how this economic drama will unfold. The tariff fight is now a global standoff. Allies like Canada are being forced to retaliate, threatening tariffs and even cutting off electricity exports to the US. The US and Canada's auto industries are deeply connected. New tariffs threaten to unravel that system. The UK is also feeling the heat. British car makers are pausing shipments to the US and relaxing EV targets. The North American free trade system is being torn apart overnight. Businesses that rely on stable trade rules now face chaos and unpredictability. This isn't just a government fight, it's a threat to how modern business works. From Canada to the UK to China, countries are bracing for impact. The cycle of retaliation could harm everyone, everywhere. The only certainty now is uncertainty. Why should you care about tariffs and trade wars? Because they hit home. Tariffs mean higher prices for everyday goods. Your soda, your car, your groceries. It's a hidden tax that shrinks your budget. Trade wars also threaten jobs. Companies facing higher costs may cut back or lay off workers. Retaliation from other countries hurts American exporters, risking even more jobs. Uncertainty makes it hard for businesses to invest or hire. Tariffs limit your choices. Fewer products, higher prices, and companies making decisions you might not like. The global economy gave us variety and competition. Trade wars threaten to take that away. These aren't just numbers. They're changes you'll feel in your daily life. Understanding this is the first step to navigating the bumpy road ahead.